That's 6. Chapter 1 notes, order of operations. I'm sure you have heard of order of operations. You've probably talked about them in the past, so this will just be a short review. But whenever you're doing a mathematical problem that involves multiple operations, and by operations I mean things like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, parentheses, exponents, etc., there's a certain order in which the problem has to be completed. This order is universal, so that people in Germany or Russia or Australia, anyone doing a problem in math will come up with the exact same answer by using the order of operations. A quick way to remember the order of operations is the word PEMDAS, which you can see on the left here. And you've probably heard this expression, but you could say, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally," as a way to remember the letters of PEMDAS. I know there are other phrases that you can use as well. That's the way I learned it when I was in high school. So, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. The P stands for parentheses. In a mathematical expression, if there are parentheses, you must do those first. Square brackets are also considered parentheses, and you may see problems like that from time to time. So if you see either of those in the problem, you should do those first. Next is the E, and the E stands for exponents. Exponents or powers are situations where you have, let's say, an x squared, or maybe a 5 to the third. You could see them around or outside of a parenthesis, okay? And you'd have to do the parentheses first, and then you would square them. So situations with exponents or powers, that comes next. So parentheses, exponents. The M stands for multiplication, and in algebra we use a dot, or a number written right next to a letter, that's multiplication, or two numbers that have parentheses around them but they're right next to each other. Now that's a different parentheses situation than the first situation, okay? Those two are not the same, okay? In the multiplication situation here, there's nothing inside those parentheses to do, okay? But the two parentheses next to each other stands for multiplication. Just remember that. Next on our list is the D, which stands for division. And obviously division is this. That's the symbol. We could also see division as this, where they write an 8 divided by 2 as a fraction, but that means 8 divided by 2. So if there's any division in the problem, that would come next. The A, of course, stands for addition. Okay, that would come next. And the S stands for subtraction. So parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Now, there is a little detail that you need to understand, and that's that if your problem contains only addition and subtraction, so you've gone through the problem and at the very end, possibly, all you see left is addition and subtraction, like this, let's say. If you're just down to addition and subtraction, you would do the problem left to right. Okay, so you wouldn't do the addition first. You would start with the subtraction and then do the addition. So this would be 3 minus 8 is negative 5, and negative 5 plus 7 is 2. Okay. You would get a different answer if you did the addition first. So we want to make sure that we're doing this left to right. Okay. If you did the addition first, it would be 8 plus 7 is 15. Then 3 minus 15 would be negative 12. And that's not the same as 2. So if all you have left is addition or subtraction, you should do those left to right. The same thing is true for multiplication and division. If that's all that's left in the problem, you should do it left to right. For instance, if you had 8 divided by 4 times 6. okay? So you have division and multiplication. Even though the multiplication comes first in PEMDAS, when all you have left is multiplication and division, you should do it left to right. So again, we're gonna go left to right. So it'll be 8 divided by 4, which is 2, and 2 times 6, which is 12. Okay, so just keep that in mind. There's 3 examples to the right. The first one has a parentheses, and that comes first in PEMDAS, so I should do that first. So 7 minus 2 is 5. Now I have 5 plus 2 times 6 left over. I have addition and multiplication. So the multiplication must come first, because if you look at the order, multiplication and division come before addition and subtraction. So I'd multiply 2 times 6, which is 12. And now all I have left is addition, so 5 plus 12 is 17. And I highly recommend showing your work like I did there, writing out all the steps so you don't miss something. I think it's safer. Example 2. We have a parentheses to start off with, so we'll do that first. 3 times 4 is 12. Then I rewrote the rest of the problem. Now I have, looking for multiplication, there's none. There's a division sign, 12 divided by 2, so that'll come next. So 12 divided by 2 is 6. Now all I have left is subtraction and addition. So remember when that's all that's left in the problem, you do it from left to right. So I'll do 6 minus 6 first, which is 0, and then 0 plus 2, which is, of course, 2. Example 3. We're moving on to example 3. I see a parentheses right off the bat, so that would come first. So I'll do 6 minus 3, which is 3, and I'm going to write that answer. I'm going to keep it in parentheses and right next to the 3. And then I'm going to write the rest of the problem. Next, you'll probably notice that there is an exponent in this problem, 5 to the second. And remember that 5 to the second is the same as 5 times 5, so that'll be 25. Okay, so I rewrote the problem again. Now, there are 2 multiplication problems here, and multiplication would come next. So I can do both of those multiplications in this step. So 3 times 3 would be 9, and 4 times 5 would be 100. And now, since all I have left is addition and subtraction, I'm going to do these left to right. So 9 plus 100 is 109, minus 10 is 99. So be sure to follow the order of operations, and remember that if all that's left in the problem is multiplication or division, or addition and subtraction, that you would finish the problem left to right. Good luck.